What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAC for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date with all that is going on in the sports world. Yeah, man. To be determined if we're going to go on the 3-on-3 tournament this week. Our brother Sedacious is not in the building yet, but nonetheless, you know, as long as two of us are in the building, we're gonna always hold it down. But it's three today, so let's have a great show.
Big brother, the shiniest one, definitely tapping in, checking in. Surgical Pigs, man. Shout out to my dog who probably just dropped 100 times in the group. His name will be revealed if it does smack, but more to come. We'll get into that. Let's go.
Yo, it is the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. In your spare time, be sure to go check out Talking Smoke podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and where you get your dope podcast from. That's where you can find that, man. Let's go.
Happy 4th of July out there to all you beautiful people in the world. I've this past weekend I got caught up on just getting caught up on like the YSL cases and the Young Thug case. I'm like, what's going on? Me personally, I'm trying to like when I first seen the Young Thug had like the judge was black, I was like, all right, cool, okay. It seems that we have one point on the board in our favor. So you would think,
No.
right.
Me in Atlanta, everybody black.
But then as I like I said, as I went to go about it, trying to get caught up on like how the case is unfolding and what's going on, I'm like, I don't think you're on our side, but or on Young Thug's side there, buddy. But do y'all think Young Thug will beat this case?
Oh man, them sales about to go through the roof when he come home. I think he gonna beat it. Just due to the frivolous nature overall on the case. I won't go into specifics if people have been keeping up with it. You see the inconsistencies and a clear violation of constitutional rights within the case and how it's being conducted, especially as it pertains to the prosecution's witnesses and just witness tampering altogether. So, man, it's really a shit show, man. It just looks like a big play being enacted. Oftentimes, man, when I see clips of it, it doesn't even look real in regards to the back and forth banter between, the judge and, legal parties and things like that. So I think Thug will eventually walk in. When in hip hop, if you beat a case of this magnitude, that'll automatically elevate him to a Boosie level status, especially in Atlanta. He'll be a legend. He already a legend forever, but he would definitely be, especially from a street sense, a legendary sense in regards to music. I mean, it would benefit him greatly. So I definitely think he'll beat it, especially with what his lawyer went through as well. Willing to go down for his client, which is probably one of the best market employees. This guy is gonna forever get business, and just off of that alone, being willing to go, just asking the judge, hey, can I go do my time with my client? Like, come on, like.
But even though like I was watching it, and if face value, it just looked like, bro, he's like balls to the wall, going all out for his client. But I question how strategic and of a chess move it was for him to be able to do that or think to do that, whether it was like premeditated and calculated or not. Because if you do that and it's like he can't show up to court, then you put him in a position to be like, oh shit, you had me locked up. I want a mistrial. Like I couldn't help my client because you locked me up, remember? And the prosecution side being like, Your Honor, yeah, we're gonna need him to be in the courtroom because that's not really gonna help us in the long run because he's gonna have rights to a mistrial.
That's why I say they all over the place. So
yeah. Black Peace, is Young Thug going to beat this case?
Um, Gentleman is coming home, man. Gentleman is coming home. I see a lot of desperation in the prosecutors. They were very confident 2.5 years ago. Hell, I think the world thought it was over. But once things actually got on and going, they seem like they're scratching and scraping. Diddy. I feel like they're trying to. The judge, even though he seems like he's against Young Thug, I really feel like he's neutral. But I feel like the events that are going on in the case are making him feel some type of way. So if he feel like he's getting played by Young Thug's lawyer, he tends to say, you know what, screw you, Young Thug. If he feel like the prosecutors are starting to abuse the law or starting to trying to, go against what he's allowing, then he gets pissed off at them. I don't think he's necessarily against Young Thug. I just think he doesn't want to get played with and manipulated. He wants a straight case. That's what I'm reading from it. And I think that's what happened with the whole situation with his lawyer and why his lawyer was attacking him. Why are you doing this behind my back and this and that? And I feel like he was just trying, I think the judge was personally trying to get information because everything is just so crazy where they're out in public. He's trying to get information to where things are a little more smooth. The witnesses aren't cooperating. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as what they said a couple of years ago, and they're not remembering anything. So it's frustrating to the judge to where he's just like, you know what, I got to start doing ridiculous stuff. And just like when things started to come full circle, and the Young Thug's attorney, attacked him about it, say, hey man, you can't do that. Hey, what's I can't do that. He tried to pull a power move and say, well, give me the guy's name. And just like you said earlier, like that kind of, information and trying to punk somebody and trying to say I'm gonna put you in jail, you can't do that legally. So that was one of those situations where Young Thug's lawyer is still on top of it. He knows what he's doing. They're in total control, man. Like every angle that is happening in that courtroom, as much as it seems like, oh, Young Thug's about to be put away forever, there's nothing sticking at all. Nothing. Like I said, they tried to do try to get confidential stuff about him. And they tried to flip it around, and his lawyer found and said, you know what, lock me up, as long as I'm with my client. Trying to play it off as if he didn't know, okay, this is going to get thrown away if I get locked up. So, but yeah, man, like I said, man, they're falling apart, man. It would be, I give it realistically 1 year for Young Thug to be home. 1 year.
Kendrick Lamar's, oh no, not that. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us is up to win a Grammy.
Wow.
Hold on. I just want to make I seen that somewhere. I saved the wrong thing, but nonetheless, yeah. Did y'all watch the Ken and Friends concert? What were y'all takeaways from that concert? If y'all, well, did y'all see it? Did y'all get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, man. And not to beat a dead horse, because that's essentially what.
Real quick, forgive me for cutting you off. I want to chunk it up to maybe life or something happening as to why Sedacious wasn't on the podcast, but me putting Kendrick Lamar on the rundown makes me think he's ducking. Sedacious, where are you? Sedacious, where are you? Shout out to our dog. Love you, dog.
I just think, man, it was just a furthering of the onslaught of shitting on somebody, showing him quite literally in poetic justice fashion, right? Like, this is what the culture looks like. This is what it looks like when you can bring out your whole city, your whole, you know what I'm saying, your whole state, where you can have Crips and Bloods on the same stage, where you can have beefing neighborhoods and beefing sets on the same stage and different, like I bring the culture together. I embody what it is to be a part of Black culture. And I'm not saying Crips and Bloods are a part of Black culture, but in regards to West Coast and that being their culture, in regards to being the origination of gangs, right? Just seeing the unity in regards to, again, the people he was able to bring out, not only rappers, but again, athletes, entrepreneurs. Like, again, he was representing something bigger than himself. Like, I'm a whole side of the continent, bro. I'm a whole side of the country. Like, you don't have that. Like, again, you come over here to get your swag, like, and we own to you. You still great. Go make some music now after this, though. After I done exposed what you really are to everybody, it's gonna hit a little different. And I ain't saying Drake ain't talented, and I ain't telling you that I may not go listen to that. I may be jamming it if it's hard, but it's like it does lose a little bit of luster. It does lose some value. It loses a lot of the essence that his music had around it, right? Like, now, if Drake get back in that melodic bag and he don't give me tough Drake, that's how you beat Kendrick. You go get back to your roots. Go give me comeback season Drake. You go do that. You go get in that bag. Come on. And he can't with you, Drake. Realistically, if you go get in that bag, that's your lane, bro. Like, you kind of, like, like,
Lean
you
into
gotta
your
just stay true to,
strengths.
bro. Come on. That's all I'm asking you to do. Please, but don't go give me back outside boys toting the 70 on the strip. I'm ready to, that shit don't even make sense. They don't even make 70 clips. What the fuck? Like, yeah, anyway, like I say, I digress, but
Black
he's the
Peace.
culture.
I pretty much agree with Shine Hard for the most part of what Kendrick did. I feel like it was a little bit deeper. I think that was his way of responding to a lot of what Drake was saying in his diss songs about, his relationship with his wife, his kids,
What really banger set, my nigga? YG. And then he go have YG on stage actually banging his set, and it's like, Drake, you might want to just, but go ahead, bro.
But yeah, it was like everything he's, I'm bigger than you in your own city. That concert was exclusively for Compton. Literally. It was nobody else invited but Compton. So, just everything about that little not little, because it was definitely a big event. Everything about that event, man, it was definitely just a diss to Drake, but not in the sense of just, oh, this is all for Drake. It was just like it was well overdue. Also the fact that Drake, I feel like, has never brought anybody together. And just like you said, he showed that power of doing that. And if anything, I feel like Drake is a big side chooser when it comes to outside beefs. And this was like Kendrick saying, hey man, I'm so intact with the culture. I know how this actually works, rather than just trying to like pick a side and do what's cool. Like, I know this is something that needs to be done, and I'm man enough to step into it. Like, you were right. You've been around so many beefs to where you just don't know how to move. I don't know. So I feel like this was him showing, like, bro, this is how people in the culture really move, man. It's all about just feeling it and not trying to do what everybody wants you to do. So
breaking news, calling it now, as I've had a history. What album was that? Was that Damn? I don't know what album that was, but y'all remember when I had predicted that Kendrick was gonna drop the album, and he did like that same exact week. So
yeah, that was actually crazy.
And that's why you beautiful people should be listening to us, because we're gonna let you know what happens before it happens. Respect our game. All the momentum that Kendrick has had. Here's the other thing too. I'm gonna say this. Watching the concert and watching how long it took Kendrick Lamar to respond to Drake initially made me start to question if this was always in the plans. As soon, I'm talking about, was this like foresight that Kendrick had back when he hopped on Future song, and to like, if
he
that
baited them the whole way, which is the ultimate.
Bro, if that was the case,
it will go down as the best hip hop chess move in history because quite literally he was ready for war.
Like
He was armed to the T, like
it's
with
unfathomable
handguns, techs,
bro.
assault rifles, the whole works, grenades, rocket launchers. He came ready to, let's do
Drake
it.
earned it. Drake earned it. Straight up.
He did. But say, Drake, boy, you worked hard for me to get on your ass like this. Pause.
Bro, like that's how I feel like listening to like that and watching the concert. I'm just like, yo, was this like
He ran the
incremental
dispatch 5
steps?
times as well in a row.
Literally, like no exaggeration, word for word, the entire crowd. And so, man, yeah,
And them not getting tired of it once.
if I could sit down with Kendrick Lamar, and if I don't get that opportunity, Kendrick, everybody share this and get this to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick, answer this question for the culture, for the Respect the Game podcast. Did you have this concert envisioned and already in the works as you were taking your precious time to respond to Drake after you dropped the diss of Like That? If in the event you had remotely had envisioned all of this and knew you were setting him up for the 1-2 hook right uppercut, just surgical to the absolute utmost. But yeah, the concert was absolutely amazing. Even apart from like just Kendrick's part, like all the other acts, DJ Mustard, DJ Head, I think it was absolutely great. And like I could only imagine the energy in the Forum Arena, cause like I felt the energy just watching the stream. I was just like, this shit is like through the roof. The ceiling is the roof.
Shout out Michael Jordan.
But yeah, man, like that's all I could think about. I was just like, damn, like, was he setting all of this up the entire time to have his moment when he was like in the heat, in the battle of war, going against Drake? Like, oh, this whole time, like, oh, why he ain't responding? What's taking him so long to respond? Like, was this nigga at rehearsals
Which was
in the
only
middle?
a few days. Like, let's
Right, true indeed. But it's just like, was he at rehearsal the whole time? Like, why y'all waiting on him to respond? Like, I mean, just think about it. He had 3 diss tracks already lined up when he was like when he finally did decide to respond. So it's not far-fetched for him to like had already been building up for this concert to be like, oh, Not Like Us, I know it's gonna be a smash, and we just to go to the bone. Saying all that to say, it's already been seen that Kendrick Lamar is shooting the Not Like Us video shoot. He's going to drop the video shoot along with a new album that nobody is expecting. You heard it here first. Our sources are.
trust me, bro.
And that's what it is. Moving over to the NBA, real quick insert. We wrapping up. This is like our 2nd episode we on, so like don't get tired.
I know, because I already know. Cause I'm like, I know this the end of the 2nd. We shooting Evergreen too. I'm like, ain't no way. I'm looking at Darnell eyes. I say, we losing them fast. We losing them. We gotta wrap this shit up.
Oh man.
No capitalist.
Nah.
Really?
Like how much longer we gonna talk, Jesus? Nah, we about to.
For the help, please. Shout out Miss Karen. I seen it on Sunday.
Oh man. All right. Yo, man. So the draft is over with. Everybody is saying what drafts and what moves have been made, and now we transition over into free agency. First off, to kick off the free agency talk, yes or no, does Klay Thompson stay with the Golden State Warriors this upcoming season? Does he re-sign with the Warriors? Yes or no, Darnell?
Nah.
Shine hard. Does Klay Thompson re-sign with the Golden State Warriors this offseason?
No.
What do you want to see him at? What do you think he's going?
I don't really like this nigga, so I don't know where he go.
The hell if you don't
But
pray.
Klay off the bench. Klay off the
no
bench in
shit.
Houston.
But I mean, preferably somewhere where he can still feel like he the man, I guess. If he want his ego stroke. I know he don't give a fuck about winning still, but ideally, come to the Lakers, nigga. You want to win? JJ
Indiana.
Redick is
At the crib, is not far
No.
away.
all
You
that
said-
running they do. He ain't gonna want to do that. But nah, you want to play at a slow pace? We need a shooter. We need a knockdown shooter, and we gonna let you play, Klay. We are not gonna treat you like shit.
JJ Redick, your head coach, he's a shooter. He knows what it means to have a shooter on the team.
Granted, he ain't got no championship, but the only way Steve Kerr got his is because of Michael. But I know he was on the Spurs too, but he was on some all-time teams. But having JJ Redick as your, you know what I mean? I think that's appealing to some degree, especially as a shooter. But yeah, I mean, I like to see him in the Lakers uniform. Yeah, come join Death Row, nigga. Yeah,
How do
Yeah,
we
your
like
dad's
Klay?
old alma mater.
Who is that I had said Klay Thompson going to, or I like to see him at? Who's that I said in the
The
group?
Magic, I think you said,
Was it the Magic? Let me see.
which I
I think
hated.
I think his ego too big to play for the Magic.
Yeah. And the
Oh,
Magic
I said, go ahead, my bad.
I was gonna say, and the Magic wasn't trying to give superstars like anything past 2 or 3 years on a contract. They weren't trying to like be dead capped and locked to a certain player, with a bad long-term deal. So they weren't trying to do anything past like a 2-year deal.
In the group chat, I put Klay off the bench in Boston.
No. Too much pride.
Yeah.
Way too much pride.
All right.
Because it ain't about winning another championship. It's about being valued and respected and still getting paid.
All right. Well, Klay, you're no longer an elite two-way player. That was where your value lied. And being an elite two-way player. You're no longer that. And obviously you've been robbed of that because of injuries. We understand that, right? I would like to believe if we could remove ego out of the equation, hypothetically, the greatest opportunity for Klay will not be just coming off the bench to come off the bench. But if you could say, Klay, we want you to come off the bench because we want your sole responsibility and focus to be shooting the ball when you get in the game, I think that could serve wonders for Klay Thompson in reviving his career. If his sole responsibility, if you start and we're expecting a lot of you, we're gonna look at you crazy if you can't still be a two-way player and defend. But if you coming off the bench and we know your sole responsibility is to come off the bench and shoot that thing and let it fly, I think that would be the greatest ego boost for Klay if he can get quality minutes on a championship contending team. And all he got to worry about is shooting. You asking one of the greatest shooters to ever play the game, to ever shoot the ball, to come on your team and only focus on shooting. Like, I don't know what's not a good situation about that. And you add on the money.
I want to be valued. They just benched me for a rookie. You talk about this coming off the bench. I'm just saying, like,
no, I understand
that's
what you're saying.
That's really partially, bro. They benched this nigga for Brandon Potachinsky. He should not have been benched for him, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't care. Klay in a slump is still better than him. Like, after I saw that, I'd been like, yeah, Steve, I'm done with you, fool. I ain't gonna lie to you. On me. I'm ready. You won't give a fuck about me, and it's cool. You will. When I get my statue up, it won't be as big as Steph's. It probably need to be.
If you was a GM, would you look to give Klay what he's asking for as a starter?
No.
Okay.
Because it's gonna hurt the team and it's gonna hurt Steph. And,
well, no, I'm talking about anywhere.
I'm
not saying from like if he was a Golden State GM. I'm saying any GM in the league. Like if he was.
Oh yeah, somebody gonna overpay him.
But would you, if you was in that position, would you overpay him?
Depending on what position I'm in. Like what we trying to do. Like our goal is a franchise, right? Like every team, it's only one team that can win the championship. So quite literally, it's some people who just satisfied with getting fans in the seats, right? So if I'm just looking to improve my team and just get more fans in the seats. If I'm a, middle of the pack team and I got excess amount of money to spend and I can overpay for somebody, a 4-time champion who's top 5 shooter ever, why not overpay this nigga? We ain't got no better option. And it'll make people want to come to the, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking about it from that perspective, like, okay, it's a business at the end of the day. Am I trying to attract fans or do I, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I think we're past I'm looking for another place to win. He's looking for a place to be valued where he can still start, get up all them bullshit, horrendous shots, and it be looked at because, nigga, I'm playing. And I'm a 4-time champion, and I'm gonna hold my fours up. And I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm a top 5 shooter ever. So yeah, and you should just respect me and let me get this shit off how I need to. I'm looking for a team like that who gonna pay me top dollar. It ain't about winning with Klay. But again, if he was smart, I'd try to come to LA somehow. I really would. But again, it's about money, and we ain't got the money to pay that nigga. Shouldn't pay him if it don't make sense. If you want to come for a discount and still try to win, stick it to the Warriors. You still be in the division, so you see them, 4 times a year, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, if you're in the West 3 or 4 times, if you're on the West.
Yeah, so.
Is there any other off-season moves in the NBA right now that haven't happened yet that y'all anticipating to happen or would like to see? I was just about to toss the Black piece. I know right now they're saying that Paul George isn't necessarily eager to sign a contract extension for the Clippers. Some people have even talked about him possibly teaming up with Embiid. That sounds cute on paper, but one of the reasons I would shy away from that
Another Kawhi situation.
is because none of them got experience winning a championship. And I feel like when you're trying to team up to a certain extent, like I think people think like that 1 year just like meshing superstar or like high caliber players together like equally means like a deep run. And possibly having Paul George, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I feel like he may come off as being somebody you have to cater to as a 2, and I feel like that would affect the development of Tyrese Maxey if you had Paul George going to the 76ers.
I think he would play at the 3, to be honest, because at this point it's really interchangeable. I wouldn't really want Maxey running my point anyway, per se. He's not a true point. I think he could still have a world where Maxey runs it 2.
I meant it more so from like a pecking order or like scoring option perspective.
Oh yeah. It definitely will stunt the growth of Maxey, but nobody looks at Maxey and Embiid and like, man, that can win a championship. So you'd have to add another star if you want a legitimate chance at trying to win it. So from that perspective, if Maxey wants to win, I ain't gonna lie, brother, your development might have to take a back seat if it means winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one could also argue, but his development, if he develops into a better player, yeah, but him developing into a better player doesn't always mean the Sixers developing into a more championship positioned roster, right?
Yeah.
Because a motherfucker can get better individually and the team could still
that don't translate to team success.
Exactly.
Rostradamus, the people not tripping off Kyrie not getting a 50 ball, but they do want to know what do you foresee happening in the off season of the NBA here in the coming weeks? What do you have for the people?
I think we see Wemby get his partner.
So the Spurs make a move.
I think Spurs make a big move. Now, who? I don't think I'm that good because everybody wants to play with Wemby right now. I mean, you do a survey and say, do you want to play with Victor Wembanyama? I think I would say at least 90% of the league would want to play with him, based off the skill set, his age, the coach, the franchise. Like, I right now, I would, like I said, anybody's up. So if Donovan Mitchell doesn't go to Houston, I think he may go to the Spurs with Victor Wembanyama. If not him, somebody close to that caliber is going to the Spurs.
I wouldn't mind seeing Donovan Mitchell on the Spurs with Wembanyama. I'm just saying as a basketball fan. I ain't even talking about as a Houston fan or even just being a fan of the Lakes. But I ain't gonna lie, D. Mitch and Wembanyama would be a bit crazy.
And I keep mentioning
It
Mitchell
would be
because man,
crazy
the
for
man is
years
not
to come
happy.
too, because you got Donovan Mitchell right smack dab in the middle of his prime right now, and you got Victor Wembanyama, who, scarily enough, ain't even sniffed his prime, which is crazy to think he's still damn near a teenager. But yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's right. I seen some talks about, I know on the last episode we talked a little bit about Fred VanVleet and Donovan Mitchell possibly going to the Rockets. Um, I don't know how much this will necessarily help us, and you could argue not much at all considering the young talent we got and talking about Amos defensively. But I was saying some talks about Ime possibly wanting to get Marcus Smart away from the Grizzlies and bring him over to Houston and trying to kind of build that defensive pedigree type team he was developing in Boston. Apart from the draft, I feel like, I don't know what, but I feel like JJ Redick being hired was just the first domino in the offseason for the Lakers. I feel like they're gonna move some things around and shake some things up to try to acquire some more pieces to put themselves in a advantageous position to make a run at a championship. Sort of like Black Peace. I'm not that good. I can't tell you who or what, but I think the Lakers. We haven't seen the Lakers being done with their last bit of off season moves. Um, Real quick too.
I thought you was about to hit us with beautiful people.
Nah, I am, but I just closing remarks. And probably yeah. So I think JJ Redick would do well as a coach with the X's and O's, but what I think is going to piss him off and frustrate him is when he has to deal with the front office and having to deal with the, hey, JJ, you got to play so and so because that's who we paying the most. Whereas for him, he may only see the game from a player's perspective, but I think the bumping heads and like the frustration that may come, the growing pains that may come with being a head coach is when he has to deal with, Rob Pelinka management telling him, hey, you can't play him. We want such and such plan because we're trying to trade him off and so on and so forth. So I think the extracurricular activities of agents and the front office management, I think that's going to give JJ Redick a headache as he steps into this new role. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with that throughout the course of the season. And yeah, man, we want to be before y'all for a good time, not a long time here on this 4th of July break week. And so this episode, and it's still got a nice episode to you, even though it's not as long as all the other ones. However, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face as we get ready to wrap. We just had the NBA draft, NBA finals before that, NBA draft, and now we're in a momentous NBA offseason of off-season moves. And then we're supposed to go into NBA Summer League, WNBA. Y'all getting ready to take a month off in the middle of July for the Olympics. Y'all still don't have Caitlin Clark on that Olympic team. And as the WNBA offseason continues to rev up, and then college football and the NFL training camp starts, Don't be surprised if that viewership takes a dip because y'all didn't take Kaylin to the Olympics. But yeah, beautiful people. Thank you for taking time out to listen to us. We hope that y'all have a good 4th of July week. Make sure y'all follow us on all our social handles. And yeah, man, we don't take y'all listening to us for granted. Our viewership has been growing, our comments, our likes, our subscribers. We truly do not take it for granted. Gonna make it a point to keep interacting with y'all in the comments, man. This is the Respect the Game podcast, and this will be our last episode. Yeah,
Shalom, my brothers, and happy
Yeah.
Juneteenth to the people.
Right on. We're taking a week off, so we'll be before y'all like another 2 weeks. Love you, beautiful people. We will see you next week after week.